All right, welcome back to week. Is it week 8 this week of week 8 Friday Night Lines, presented by Loaded Box Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Primo. You can find me at Loaded Box DJ on the old Twitter net. Um, I missed last week, and I apologize to everybody, but the week before I just had one of the worst weeks of gambling, and my producer didn't have a lot of it had some prior activities to attend to, and I just needed to get my mind right after the week before. It was bad. I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't hiding. I just needed to refresh. And last Saturday, even though I didn't give you guys picks, of course, I go 7-0-2 during the daytime. So I feel bad for not giving picks, but I did struggle in the NFL a little bit. We're back. We will not miss another week this year. No chance. We're about to dominate. We're about to give out a bunch of fucking winners. I'm excited. I've got this beer. So we got this in Madison. We got this place called Carbon 4. It's a small bar / brewery. And I went and got a growler. And I was talking to Pat, my producer, before this on the ones and twos. And he doesn't know what a growler is. So it's in this big thing. And do you think, is that just like a Wisconsin because we drink so much beer that we have things like growlers or what?
I have no idea. I
I
don't
like
see him very often.
I just assumed that everybody knew what a growler was, but I guess maybe just because Wisconsin's just such alcoholics that we just do things that other people don't. So I'm pretty excited about that. I have another question that revolves around work. We were talking about our jobs, but I was thinking about this on our way home. How how often do you just call in sick just because like you don't want to work?
I never call in sick, even if I feel like I'm dead. It typically takes me. By the time I get into work, I'm always glad I just grew some cojones and just came into work because
Yep.
the one or two times that I have just from being sick and just feeling terrible, I feel so guilty and I know I'm not gonna have that money. So 99 times out of 100, I'm just gonna grow a pair and show up to work.
Gotta get that money, dude. I am the same way, and I have this thing where like I wanted to call in so bad this morning. I got there struggling for the first hour. I had a rough day yesterday, so I put back almost all this growler. So I was feeling the effects this morning, and I was so close. I never do it, and nobody would know, but I still didn't do it. I just buckled up and went, and I was there. And I was like, but people do that all the time, because I have people that work for me that do it. And it's like, I bet it feels so good to just do it and get away with it sometimes, but I just can't. I can't do it. It's not in me. Um,
No, man, the guilt. The For me,
yeah,
I'm just the type of person where the guilt takes over, and I don't even enjoy being out of work. Like it's like
right.
I'll call out, and then an hour or two later, I feel like I want to go into work because I feel like such a
Yeah,
piece of shit.
yeah. The only way I do is if I'm literally puking, like then I don't feel guilty. Um, let's get right into the picks then. Not right in because I just talked about like 100 things, but let's get into the picks. We start out with the NFL like usual. I'm just gonna give you the one, the only, right away. We're gonna start off with chalk every time. We're 5-1 against the spread. I think I'm 7-8. What is it? 7-1 betting the Packers. Just Packers -7 versus Vikings. I don't even know if I need to give analysis anymore. The Packers are good. The Vikings are bad. We always bet the Packers. They always cover the spread. Almost always cover the spread. I don't know that there's much that needs to be said about this. If they're playing, I'm betting them. They're playing, I'm betting them. I know they don't have Aaron Jones. It didn't hurt too much last week. I think AJ Dillon might get some more looks for you fantasy people. I'm actually going to plug him in. I just have this gut feeling that they're going to run him a little bit more and kind of see what they have right now. So I think it's going to be more of a 50-50. This is literally just a guesstimate as a Packer fan. For fantasy people, though, I have a feeling AJ Dillon's going to be used. I have a feeling he's going to be used. Let's go into my next bet. I like the Titans -5.5 at the Bengals. Joe Burrows, I think left tackle is out. Joe Mixon's out. And that offensive line already stinks. Poor Joe Burrow, he's the best rookie quarterback in the NFL right now. And he just gets his ass beat game after game after game. Driven on the team down the field 3 times with chances to win. Took the lead this last week with like a minute left. And then, of course, the defense is just so horrific. They gave up a minute, under a minute long touchdown drive to Baker Mayfield. And it's just, I feel so bad. And with the Titans and Mike Vrabel and them coming off of that loss, it's going to be Derrick Henry just shoving it down their throat. and they're going to do it so methodically. It's going to be run, 8 yards, 7 yards, and they're going to jump play action pass to A.J. Brown. And I just have this gut feeling it's that revenge game from the Titans. The Bengals are so beat up. They're missing guys. Their defense is atrocious. It's like set up for me. I think it's going to be a 20, 25-point victory, and off the bat, it's going to be ugly. Like right away, you're going to be like, all right, I don't have to worry about that game. It's 21-0 in the first quarter. That might be my favorite bet of this weekend. Now, next one, I don't know what this line's at right now. I put this is what I got Wednesday. I'm actually going to look it up, but I love, at the time, I put this bet in on Wednesday at the time. So 49.5 is what it currently is at. I got it at 52.5. It opened at 55. So the reason this keeps dropping, the Raiders-Browns under 52.5, I like the under. I love the under. The reason this keeps dropping and why I bet it right away is because there's supposed to be 25-mile-per-hour winds with 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And I remember Aaron Rodgers talking about conditions worse for quarterbacks to play in. He said it's not rain. It's not snow. It's when it's windy. It's so hard to throw in the wind. It's the worst conditions. And one thing people don't consider is Derek Carr has some of the smallest hands in all of football. And so does Baker Mayfield. So it's hard to hang on to the ball when it's going to be raining, probably 65% chance, 25-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to be hard for them to hang on to the ball. It's going to be hard for them to control where the pass is going. You could see some turnovers in this game. I got it at 52.5. It's at 49. I would still, if I were you, get that in before it continues to drop. It's already dropped 6 fucking points. It's unbelievable. I'm happy I got it at 52.5. Smash the under in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if you see it get done like 45 in that area, 42. Like it's just gonna keep going. Next game, I don't like doing this because I'm betting a lot of favorites. Rams -4 in Miami at the Dolphins. Rams are favorites. This is a game where Tua, we talked about him on the Loaded Box podcast. Ben just had a boner talking about him the entire time being a Dolphins fan. This is a game where Tua has to be his first game. He has to go up against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Who did the Rams play this last week? I'm drawing a blank. Who the Rams played last week in Week 7. But Aaron Donald was just getting to whoever the quarterback was and dominating, just getting there and just throwing him around. And I think that Donald's going to come out and he's going to rip that leg off that he dislocated, and he's just going to chase Tua around with his own leg. Like he's just going to ravage Tua. Again, I think the Rams are coming off. Do they come off a win or a loss? I don't know. I don't care. They are just coming off a win because I was talking about Aaron Donald, a big win. But they're just going to – I think they're going to come to this game. Goff is going to be in rhythm. They're going to run it down the Dolphins' throat immediately because their run defense is terrible. And then they're going to open up that play action and hopefully find Gerald Everett open down the middle of the field or Robert Woods. I know they got great cornerbacks, but that play action game is going to become so lethal in this game. And I just have a feeling, number one, Tua's left-handed. Can't bet on a guy left-handed. He's not going to be a good quarterback when you're left-handed. It's just like rule of thumb. The only guy that's ever been good left-handed is like Steve Young and then Michael Vick for a couple of years. And Michael Vick doesn't count because he killed dogs. So that's really just a bad karma in general. So, yeah, left-handed quarterbacks, don't like him. He'll be out of the league in 2 years. Next, I've got the Chargers -3.5 at the Broncos. This is another game. The Broncos, I'm actually weirded out that this is so small. I don't know if Drew Lock's any good. He doesn't look very good. His weapons aren't there. I really think he's suffering without Sutton. He got all cocky off of one touchdown, and then they just got their ass kicked last week. Justin Herbert looks like the real deal. They're coming off of a bye. That defense is good, and I just think they're going to get to Drew Lock, and he's going to get hit after hit after hit, and they will score. Mark my words. I called the Bears last week scoring less than 10 points. They will score less than 10 points. 10 points or less, the Broncos this week. So that just means all they have to do is score 14 points, and they're covering this game. Herbert's going to have a good game. They'll be running the ball pretty well against this Broncos defense. I like the Chargers a lot here, 3.5. So lay those points. All right. You got any NFL picks for us, Pat? I'm not even going to do it. Since we're talking NFL, do you have any picks that you like this week in the NFL?
I'm looking at an over-under consensus of 50 for Indianapolis in Detroit. Honestly, I think this game could go over, believe it or not. I think that these offenses could just come out, and especially with Kenny Galladay being back. I know he's been back for a few weeks, but that guy doesn't make boring NFL catches. Every single reception that he gets is absolutely insane, and I think that he will be able to maintain drives for the Detroit offense literally on his own, and then I could see Swift and Taylor just battling it out to see who's the better um, rookie of the year. So I could see that.
I've actually been disappointed in how, because I thought Taylor would come in. I thought he would just, once Matt got hurt, I thought Taylor would come in and just fucking dominate. And I've actually been disappointed. He's putting up good, like decent yards, and I expected him to like just blow people on the water with that offensive line. And I've been disappointed with like how bad his vision seems to be so far. And maybe that'll come with time because Josh Jacobs, his rookie year, started off timid right away, and then as he started to feel it and get confident, you could see his confidence come back to what it was at Alabama, and he just started running behind those legs and trusting what he was seeing. And I'm thinking you may see that from Taylor at one point, but he's right now just been kind of an average running back that's running behind a really good offensive line. So I'm not counting him out. I've just been disappointed with that.
I'm gonna call it right now. I think he's gonna be top 3, if not the number 1 running back in fantasy this week.
Wow, that's a big call. So you like the Colts, Detroit over 50.5. So mark that one down for Pat. Do you know what you are, like 2-1, 1-2? What is it? Or what? Do you know what your record is? We should start tracking that.
I think I'm 2-2. Well, going back might take a little longer, but I'll investigate and we'll get that up for next week.
Perfect. So all right, college football. We're gonna jump right into here. I went a lot of favorites in the NFL. I'm going dogs here. I've got one favorite, $4 for you. I love dogs in college football. It's just fun. It's just fun to bet the dogs. But I'm starting off with a favorite. This is you if you're a gambler and you start to gamble in college football, you get into teams that like you just like to bet on because they keep winning with you. I have 2 teams here and one carryover from last year that I just like to bet on and I keep winning with, so I'm going to keep going to the well. I've got you starting out with UNC. They're 7-point favorites going into Virginia. I am nervous about this line. I'm not going to lie. This is like a small 1-unit bet if you're going to bet it right away and then maybe live bet it to see how it's going. But I'm going to put a small bet on that -7 and watch the game, see how it's going, see how it starts. But the fact that the UNC is only favored by 7 does not make any sense. Sam Howell is the man. They can throw the ball all over everybody, but their running back, I can't remember his name. He's number 25. Their running back is so fucking good. He's legit. This guy's an NFL caliber running back. His vision is incredible. He's got great power. He runs behind his legs. It seems like there's no hole, and he'll just go into a dark hole, and all of a sudden he'll pop up for 8 yards. It's a 5-yard run minimum every time you give this fucking guy the ball. So if you have a running back that fucking good, number 25, don't know his name, he's really good. And then Sam Howell, is just an all-star who can throw it to a bunch of Javonte Williams is his name, out of North Carolina. Guy's a monster. Guy's a fucking monster. Sam Howell's a monster. They just have they're just too good offensively. They should blow Virginia out. That's why I don't understand the 7-win spread. But I'll fall into the trap. I think they'll still be up for this game. They lost to Florida State 2 weeks ago in a trap game. I just don't think that. I think they're away, and that's never going to happen again. I think they come out and smash Virginia. Kansas State +5. I don't think they've lost a game this year. Kansas State's really good. They've covered almost every spread I've bet on them. I'm ride or die Kansas State. I just keep betting them, and they keep covering. They're +5 going into West Virginia. I know West Virginia's good at home. They beat Baylor at home. I gave you guys that pick in week 2. But this Kansas State team, they weren't getting it done offensively last week. So what they did, they scored like 2 special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown. Then their offense went off in the second half. You give me Kansas State plus any points against any team right now, I'm taking them. There's not much analysis on the players. They just move the ball up and down the field, and they're a good fucking football team. They're a good team that you bet on, especially when they're dogs. They were 20-point favorites last week, and they covered. Like, it doesn't matter what they are. They're covering the spread. So I think they're doing it a service because they're not a team that, like, has been good historically and has a letdown game. They need to play every game full out. So I like Kansas +5. Look, I've talked about Temple. I lost the 2 games I've given to you. But Temple was dogs a couple weeks ago. I think they're 14-point dogs, so I gave them one more chance. They hit. And then I think they won last week as dogs as well, something like that. But they're dog. When they're favorites, you don't bet Temple. When they're dogs, you bet Temple. That defense is solid defense. They're an average defense. They make plays, they get stops. Tulane likes to run the ball. I know Temple will know that they can come up and stop that run. They need to make sure to bring the fucking guy down and rally to the ball. But Russo, he's starting to get a little bit of swag. Like I said, if you've got a bandana with a little bit of thing hanging out, you better be a good quarterback. Russo is the fucking man. I will always take Temple plus the points, but never as favorites. They're plus 3.5. We're going to smash Temple and going into Tulane. I think they're just going to shut down that run game. It's going to make them one-dimensional, and they're not great passing the ball. Arkansas plus 14 at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is all big for the britches. They won some big games. You know, they beat some ranked teams, and they're all cocky. They think they're the shit at this point. And you've got Arkansas just grinding out games. Are they good? Is Arkansas good? They're winning games that they shouldn't be winning. They're in a lot of games. I think they're going to muddy it up here. Texas is going to be too big for the britches. I would even consider money lining this game because I just feel like this is the typical letdown game Texas A&M has. Again, I'm blanking on their head coach, but he does this. They paid him a shit ton of money to come to Texas A&M like 3 years ago and like win a national championship, and they just let down Texas A&M Aggie fans all the time. And Arkansas, they're yucking it up. They're coming in, they're confident, and they're ready to lay the upset here in Texas A&M, who's going to be like, oh, we're going to walk over Arkansas. I think they're going to be sleepwalking this game. I really do. I would be curious to know if you can look for me, Pat, real quick while I continue to talk. But let me know who Texas A&M plays next week. I'm kind of curious to know who they play next week because I want to see if they might even have a chance of looking forward. I'm just throwing this as a random theory out there, but this is a college football thing. So they're playing South Carolina, so that's not really in play here. But I just think it's a game where they're just kind of sleepwalking. If they won a bunch of games, so they think they're better than everybody, and they're not a team that can just sleepwalk through a game. Arkansas will come in and punch them in the mouth right away and punch them in the mouth early. Lastly, I just threw Georgia Tech plus 20 versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame's coming off of like just a shellacking last week, just domination again against Pittsburgh. And I did like Notre Dame going in that game because Pittsburgh's offense isn't great. They have a good defense. But I had a feeling Notre Dame's defense, it took me 5 minutes. I live bet this game. It took me 5 minutes of that game. It was 10-3. And I said to my buddy, I texted him, God damn that dog. I texted him and I said, Pittsburgh has 3 points and they might not score another point this game. The final score, if that fucking dog doesn't, I'm going to commit murder and it's going to be of that dog. It's really annoying me. Living in a house. That's what you get for a fucking dog. Anyways, I said but Pittsburgh might not score another point against Notre Dame. They were at 3. Final score was 45-3. Fucking nailed that. I live bet it huge immediately as fast as I could because you could just see Pittsburgh isn't moving the ball, and that's why I love live betting college football games. You can just see within 5 to 10 minutes, about two possessions for each team. You can get a feel of what's going to happen. But I think Georgia Tech's just another team where their coach is grit, they have grit, right? They come in, they're going to make it close, they're going to muddy it up, they're going to make you work hard for every fucking point, and then they're going to score a couple of random touchdowns. And Notre Dame's offense really isn't that good. And I think Georgia Tech can keep this low scoring and keep this game within 20. I think it's going to be scary close for them. And maybe Notre Dame scores a touchdown like the fourth quarter to kind of put them away, go up 14 or 17 points, and you get a little nervous. But I really think Georgia Tech comes in and kind of sets them back into reality for a second, for 3 quarters, and gives them a scare. Plus, I think Notre Dame has Clemson next week, and this is that trap game that I was looking for. When you have a good team going up this wagon that Clemson is, the best team in college football, I know Trevor Lawrence is out this week. It sounds like he might play in the Notre Dame game, but they're looking forward to that game. They're looking forward to Clemson. They're not even paying attention to Georgia Tech. That's when you slam a team like Georgia Tech plus 20. That I just convinced myself even more. Bet all your units. Bet your fucking mortgage. Bet your dog that's barking while you're trying to do Friday night lines. Bet it all. Just bet it. those are my picks. Do you have any more input for us? I know you already gave us a pick, but Pat, do you have anything you want to add on the ones and twos before we sign out with the people?
It's great to have you back, man. I can't wait to get back into the groove of this, because honestly, having that week off just kind of screwed it all up. So I'm excited. Let's keep a streak going. Let's go the rest of the year. Let's go strong.
I am so glad to be back. I'm so glad to have my boy Pat back on the ones and twos. We will see you next week in week 9. We'll come back with some winners. You guys can send me some checks, like percentage of all your wins after I give you, 8 to 10 wins here. You're welcome. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Friday Night Lines. Check out the Loaded Box podcast.
One quick question. We got a quick
question.
JaMycal Hasty or Damian Harris in PPR?
Oh, that's a great question. I have a feeling
I would go Hasty, honestly, because Jerick McKinnon has just been. They said he had tired legs today, and Kevin Coleman might be back. So, if Coleman's not back, I think JaMycal Hasty might be the lead back with Jerick McKinnon just sprinkled in. So definitely lock in Hasty over Harris, because that whole New England offense, I need to see something from him before I would even play probably any of them.
See, I want you guys to realize that Pat is a New England Patriot fan. He just told you to play JaMycal Hasty over Damian Harris. The whole Jerick McKinnon tired legs thing, what? He's played 51 snaps this year. What the fuck is he tired from? What is he doing?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure. I can't verify this, but I think he probably told Kyle Shanahan to suck his dick. I don't know, but I think that I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
So what's funny is the only way, I get tired legs from like a good night of jerking off, because your legs get all tense up, and maybe he's just jerking off too much and his leg tensed up, and he's got tired legs from that. Because I don't know if he's getting it from playing football. I don't know how he gets tired legs. Doesn't make any sense. I have this gut feeling, though, Pat. I'm going to go opposite. I think Damian Harris might fall into the end zone 1 or 2 times this week. Just a gut feeling. Hasty is probably the right play, but sometimes I go off a gut, and my gut is that Damian Harris runs in a couple of touchdowns this week. They've got to muddy it up. The Patriots might run 74 times this week. I don't think they trust throwing the ball anymore.
I dig it.
Yeah. That's take for what you want. My gut feeling, but you got the Patriots fan who I would probably trust more than me, because I would trust me as a Packers fan. Talking about the Packers, so I would trust his advice more than mine, but that's just my gut feeling. Is that the only question we got?
And ISO only said yo.
All right, sounds great. Yo, what's up? All right, that's it.